to another stream. It's your boy Crypto Don. We're here with the Cryptoverse family. Hope everyone's having a pleasant day, and we are about to get into some technical analysis in the cryptocurrency market. Okay, I hope you guys are ready. Alright, cool. So like I was saying, family, we sent this markup earlier on into the group. This was like a 1 hour order block. Okay, this 1 hour order block. So what is an order block? It's the last buy candle before the impulsive move down in this scenario. Okay, the last buy candle, which is here, before the impulsive move down, and we can see how the price made its way back to mitigate this area, and we got our shorts. So this down move broke the structure right here. You know, the major structure. These are all minor structural points, like different type of liquidities here. Okay, trend line liquidities. We'll go through these the different type of liquidities in the near future, but for now, just concentrate on, you know, the structure. Break a structure, boom, pulled back into the order block, and you know, you can catch some lower time frame entries here. But if we pull a fib and see where the actual reaction was from, it's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. This stuff plays out all the time, guys. And when I show you the other currencies that have actually followed the same setup today, the setups today are very clean across all the markets. Very, very clean. So if we pull a fib from the top to the bottom of this order block, get a bit more surgical here, just to be a bit more accurate. We got a rejection from the 70%, but usually I'd take an entry from the 50%. You know, which is still a good entry, a good sniper entry. And that was it. If we go to the lower time frames, you can actually see what happened. So, I mean, if you would have missed the first entry of the sniper entry, we still had this move, right? Where we had this imbalance area. We had this break of structure and the price returned back into the imbalance. So this could have been, you know, you always get a second chance, as they say. Okay, you can pull a fib from this impulsive leg down here, and we can see we got a nice entry from the 618 area. You know, but take your pick, guys. If you miss, you know, usually what I would do is when the price hits my point of interest, which is the 1 hour order block, I'll then scale into the 1 hour, the 5 minute time frame, sorry, and I'll see what the price is. You know, if we get that impulsive move, which we got a breaker structure here, we got a 618 retracement, and you know, this is your first target here, which smashed the TP. So for BTC, I'm looking at what's within range. So what's within range for me personally, if we look at the daily time frame, you can see market is pretty much bearish, isn't it? Like, we could potentially see a pullback into like here, imbalance areas, higher time frame order blocks. We've got daily order block here. We've got all of these gaps, all of these little gaps to fill. Okay. Now you're going to see eventually how significant these gaps in the market are. Okay, usually when the market has impulsive moves, they usually want to come back to fill these gaps and rebalance the price. Happens all the time. Okay, so when we do hit a point of interest, you want to see the reaction that you get. So once we hit that 1 hour order block, we got this breaker structure, return to this imbalance here, 618 entry, and you know, the rest was history. So what I've also noticed is that we've got this 1 hour breaker block. So this last buy candle before this impulsive move down, you know, we broke this low here. So a lot of smart money traders were waiting for the price to short from here. You know, once we returned back here, this is why we got this tiny rejection. You know, when we came back into it, we got this tiny rejection of this 1 hour candle. But obviously the intentions of the whales and the institutions was to continue pushing the price higher. So what happens is that when an order block gets violated like this, it becomes a breaker block. So we can expect price that when it does eventually get down, like come back here, right? If we do get that same scenario where, you know, if the price does eventually come back down here, we can have a liquidity sweep, some type of breaker structure, return to the order block, and then we can catch buys from, you know, something like that. Okay, and that's what you know, usually you'd wait for the confirmation. Once we get into this point of interest, we want to see breaker structure, return to order block, or maybe, you know, catch a nice retracement, 618 retracement, and to continue to push the price up, maybe into some imbalance that it might create in the future. So we have our points of interest, guys, and we wait for price action to tell us, you know, if there are confirmations for the longs or confirmations for the continuations for the short. It all depends on, once we reach the point of interest, then we can determine what we're actually looking for. Point of interest doesn't mean entry. Point of interest means when the price gets there, you want to see the reaction. And usually all it takes, you know, break structure, return to order block, or catch a retracement of the 618 at an imbalance, supply and demand area. You know, it all works. Like within this week, it's probably going to be like a 1 minute breaker block or something, just to give an extra confirmation. Last buy before this sell that broke the structure here, it's the same thing. So when you have multiple order blocks on the same level, it's usually a really, really high possibility that the move will play out. This last buy candle gave us this impulsive move down that broke these lows here, which is our indication that, you know, price does want to, you know, maybe in the future pull back to this area. You can see this breaker block got violated here. So like if you look here, right, this is a 1 minute order block, right? Very clearly. The last buy before the sell that broke the structure here. And we can see once the price eventually came back into this order block, we did actually get sells to come and sweep all of these lows here. You know, short-term sells. But then, when the price got back here again, because it understands supply and demand, that's why you got these tiny rejections, which then, you know, they pushed the price and violated the order block, which becomes a breaker block. And this is why you got these minor buys from the opposite side, shifting momentum, and we got these buys. So from here, we violated it again, and through this violation, the price actually created imbalances, and this was the higher time frame break of structure at the hourly order block. So this whole move was just to push up into this hourly order block, for them to continue their move to, you know, probably to the downside here, to come and mitigate this breaker block, fill out these gaps. Fill out these gaps in here. You know, we could even come down here, because we got a nice order block sitting right there. Nice order blocks. Nice order blocks. So don't marry a point of interest. And what I mean by that is, even though we've got a breaker block here, don't be fixated on it and think, yeah, I'm definitely going to catch buys from here. No. It's just the point of interest. When the price gets here, we have to see the reaction, break of structure, ideally liquidity sweep, impulse, wait for it to return to like some type of inefficiency or imbalance. And we know we can catch that move and target the liquidities to the upside. Okay? But the price can easily come to this nice order block. But this is also the last sell before this impulsive move that broke all of these highs. So it all depends on where they want to play from, isn't it? You have to just follow the price. Wrote this structural point here. So price can easily come here, get some maybe short-term buys. But this is also a valid point of interest as well. Okay, and this is only on the hourly time frame. If you go to the higher time frames, these are all trendline liquidities. And remember, market moves for liquidity. So a lot of the times, these could also be traps that they set, because the institutions in the world know a lot of people are trading smart money concepts, institutional type style trading. So a lot of these can be traps. These could be voids. So in some situations, these are actually voids where the price will just slam straight through. Okay, and this is why when you get to a point of interest, you have to wait for this type of scenario before you actually take your entry. Once we get into the point of interest, we see impulse, breaker structure, pullback, 618, catch your entry, and aim for the first low, which is the liquidity. And you can see the price from here. We've had a pullback. These are just inducements, and we can see what the price is really trying to do. It's come to sweep these highs, and it looks like it just wants to keep tanking down, like maybe through the rest of the evening. But with day trading, you just want to take your portion, unless you're swing traders, take your portion of the market and keep it moving. So that was a quick look at BTC. It's the same sort of scenario on Ethereum today, which big shout out to Chapo. He called the Ethereum short today, which was fantastic. It's the same sort of scenario that played out once we came into this point of interest. It was very much the same. So if you go to the 15-minute, an order block here, break the block within that zone. And what we actually got when we reached the zone, if we scaled down into the 5 minutes, you can see what actually happened. And this is why you have to scale into the lower time frames. So when we had this type of consolidation, we had this liquidity sweep here, and then price created this support and resistance, which is very important for us to understand that the institutions like to create these supports and resistance, sweep liquidity, okay, into their little institutional candle, the last buy before the sells, right here. This last tiny buy candle before this little leg down to break these structures here. This is how they do their moves. You don't know unless you know. Set, hold back, and then break a structure, impulse down here, inducement, pull back into 1 minute order block that week. And that would have been your confirmation. This last buy candle before this sell, inducement, price pull back into it here. So when you see that play out on some situations, it's a lot cleaner. Like on Bitcoin, the move was a lot cleaner. It was just a 618 retracement, whereas in here there was a lot more going on, before it actually made this move down. Because from once we even broke this low here, the price created this this last buy candle before we pushed down and swept this low. You can even see how sneaky they were to pull back into this candle very quickly. Pull back into this order block very quickly, and then broke structure again and just kept it moving, kept it moving, kept it moving. And then from here, like if we look to the left, structural points, when they get broken, you can always expect some type of pullback into another order block. And they'll create order blocks, create their little order blocks, like here. Yeah, that was the structural point here, isn't it? Yeah, this last low here, lower time frame structure. Okay, now before we broke that low, what did they do? Order block, order block. Look how they do it, guys. Order blocks and more order blocks. So, you know, you'll never, the moves are not always the cleanest moves. Some people would have taken this move here and then would have got taken out because the real order block was this one. This was just a trap to induce, induce the sellers, make people think, yeah, we're gonna sell, and then take them all out, break a structure, and then boom, they continue to move down. So these are like money transfers. When the money gets transferred, this is a whole nother topic, but yeah, it does take a bit of practice to identify these type of setups. But once you adjust your eyes, they're very easy to catch. So yeah, I mean, long term, maybe for the next, for the rest of the week, you'll probably see Ethereum and Bitcoin, you know, continuing to sell. It all depends on the day, like what we get. We look for our ranges and we find where we can catch some more moves. So just by looking on the 4-hour chart, the first thing I can see is this 4-hour order block. We've come into, if we measure this candle here, this bullish candle, we can see we've come exactly 50% of the candle. Not just a coincidence, guys. It's not just a coincidence. These are institutional plays. Now imagine catching a wick entry here at 50% of this 4-hour candle. Anytime you see these rally candles, 50% of it are really good entries. Pinpoint sniper entry. You see that? This is how we catch these sniper entries. We understand the 50% rule. Unmitigated discount prices. Not to say that they could set liquidity here and keep on coming, slam down. This could be the first pullback which was an inducement. It could even come back up to the the close of this area here. Continue down into the order block. Might get a shift of structure, shift in momentum. It all depends on what these guys are doing. So, price can even come here. Price can come here, price can come here, price can come there, can come there. But it's just what's within range and what's happening on the day, what the price action is actually telling us. Because they're going to want to come back up here, for sure. The trend line liquidities, they're going to want to come down here, for sure. Because you've got these liquidities sitting here. But there's money all over this market, right? It's just which one do they want to go and grab first? You just follow where they go. Okay, so for today, we made our, got our percentages, made our pips or whatever. Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day, unless you want to, be a swing trader and catch and hold these moves for weeks. That can be called the Bitcoin short, the huge short line from up here. We could have been holding this, but yeah, we want to try and catch the buy now to come and break these highs. Those are the ones we don't want to miss. Okay, it's a matter of time before it comes and we will catch them. We will catch them. Quick recap on gold. What happened on gold today? Nice head and shoulders that played out. I caught a nice short. I'm actually still in this short, to be honest. I caught a nice shot from around about here. So what happened here was I saw this head and shoulder play out. These are my order blocks, order block levels. And what I saw was from we created this order block here and we broke this low. I noticed that the price was pulling back. So when the price was pulling back, I sort of scaled into the lower time frames. And I could see this volume imbalance within that 1 hour order block. And you know, once we pulled back here, this was an inducement that was set. And I saw this rejection, and then from there, you know, my entry was sort of like around about this zone here. And yeah, I'm still in this sell. I took my portion. That dropped over 100 pips. Took my portion of that trade and closed partials, and I just got a, you know, a portion of that trade still riding risk free because we have got the potential to keep continuing down here. Got another lovely order block sitting down here on the 30 minutes, a 30-minute order block. I think that might be a 4-hour order block. Yeah. So this 4-hour, this last sell candle before this impulsive move up, I've got this whole zone marked when the price wants to come in here. But yeah, like I said, the patterns don't always look crispy clean, you know what I'm trying to say? They don't always look super clean. You have to be able to identify. But that's what it is. That's what it is. Let's have a look at some of these other cryptos, man. Hey guys, who we got on the call though? Like, has anyone got any? Look, don't be shy. Just unmute your mics. You know, can have a look at anything you want, guys. I don't want to just be robotic and just be talking and everyone's just listening. Give us some feedback. Give us some, you know, what do you guys want to see? We got the source.
First of all, nice analysis. Kudos to you. Very good. Second of all, I've seen some arguments for Bitcoin to be shooting up to 36. I mean, no one saw Bitcoin doing what it did yesterday. Me personally, I did see it coming. Everyone's shorting. Everyone thinks Bitcoin's going to go 20K. What the market makers going to do? They're going to wipe out all the shorts. I think it's something like 20 million or 80 million in shorts wiped out yesterday. Where do you personally see Bitcoin going? Because wherever Bitcoin goes is wherever all these alts go. Like me, I was going to ask you about where do you see AVAX going, but if Bitcoin goes to 36, AVAX is only going to go up. But if Bitcoin goes back down, because I know there's a CME gap between 29 and 28, but then again, there's also gaps at 36 as well. So what are your thoughts?
Let's have a closer look. Long term for BTC, after this huge rejection here, where we've come to sweep all of these lows, and we've actually come into, I don't know if you noticed, right? All right. I don't know if you guys noticed, right? But if you met this imbalance candle, okay, this imbalance between these two bullish candles, if you actually measure this candle with your Fibonacci retracement tool, and you pull the 50% of this candle, you see what the institutions are actually trying to do. Now, guys, do not sleep on 50% of these imbalance candles, these rally candles, right? Very powerful places to catch entries. You know? A lot of the times they just happen so quick. You know, could have been sitting on a nice 24% move there. So all I can really see for BTC, yeah, according to price action right now, is what do we have? We've had this leg. We've had this leg here, right? We've had this impulsive leg down. and now we're getting a pullback. Correct? Now we're getting a pullback. We've got an imbalance here between these two candles. So what I would do is I'd actually measure this. And the reason why, you know, I wouldn't, like, for now, I'd mark this without thinking Bitcoin's going to continue down, is because we've already came into 50% of this, and this rejection was enough to bring us back above this previous support level, right? It was enough to bring us back above this previous support. So now we've got support again. First thing that I can see is this imbalance here, this imbalance candle. So let's measure 50% of this candle. And we'll just keep that as a point of interest right here. So price could potentially pull back here. Okay, that's a point of interest for us here. Also, let me just mark that a little bit better. Also, this is the weekly, right? So we're pushing up towards, this is another imbalance within this region here. Pushing up to this weekly high here, which is in range. They can probably, they might want to come and quickly purge this high. Liquidity within range. Okay, this is another inducement. So if we measure this candle now, which has also produced another imbalance, we've already pushed past 50%, 70%. Okay, so what we can actually do now if we have actually measured the gap, this could be an inducement. We could push up into 50% of this candle here. So these are all reasons for the institution to push the price back up to these levels here. Major liquidity sitting within these regions. Okay, price can easily come and just wick this quickly before it continues whatever part of the cycle it's in. Because the market goes through cycles, goes through 3-day tier cycles on an intraday basis. So like you have 3 days where the market will be buying, then you get that midweek reversal. So as it started the week bullish. This is just today, the first day of the week, but quite a significant push to the upside before we got that little bit of a sell. That was from the market opening from the weekend. Last night, only today we've had this little sell that's kicked in. Not much. This whole day, more or less, been buying. We've had a little bit of a sell once we reached the hourly order block. But compared to the buys, it still is quite insignificant. Okay, so we've had this wick here, which came to sweep these lows. We've had impulse. We've had these pullbacks. Okay, we've got this daily order block here. Prices come to mitigate partially. Not to say that price can't come back to retest this block here. Impulse. What's this? 4-hour order block. Sitting here, you can see how the money's being transferred. The money's being transferred. Boom. So where's the next money transfer? Is it going to be this order block here? Pardon? Go on. at this 4-hour order block now. So like now the price is actually like sort of trapped within this zone, isn't it? Trap the price within this zone between these order blocks. Okay. We've also got a breaker block in the mix within an imbalance. So sometimes this is where it can get a little bit confusing, like where to catch entries from, right? Because this last buy before this sell actually broke this low, and it you know, when the price came back into it here, we got this tiny rejection. We mark it properly. This last buy, yeah, before this sell, actually broke these lows. So when the price pulled back into it, it understands supply and demand. So that's why you got this tiny rejection here, but then we violated it. So now, price could play within these zones here. Okay, price has like come to sweep these lows here. Come through a level of consolidation. Trap between this breaker block and this order block. So it's looking like, according to price action right now, it looks like it break and come up here, isn't it? Really, you know, we haven't managed to break past this order block as such, right? As of yet. Okay. So it all depends really what the price action is going to tell us. But, you know, these will be our point of interest here. These, you know, this zone here that I marked up, there's also liquidity here. That's a reason for them to push the price up. Okay, we've actually got a 30-minute gap here. Can you see this gap between these two candles? Don't know if you can notice that. So from the close of this candle to the opening of this candle, it should have opened here, isn't it? There's a gap. But these gaps need to be filled. And a lot of the times, right, even if they do want to push the price, you know, they might want to push the price up here, isn't it? But sometimes you get these wicks, and then, you know, the price will just erratically move. So imbalance, order blocks, it's all there. Look, imbalance. These are all reasons for them to come back. Like, they're gonna want to fill these gaps, right? New order books are being created. Money transfer. So we have our points of interest, and then what we really need to find out is when the volume's kicking in, when the momentum's kicking in. We have our other, you know, confluences and confirmations to tell us, you know, whether we can catch entries. But yeah, I could see from this. Look at this leg here, yeah. Look at the price action from when we came back into this zone here. We've had a shift in momentum to the upside, isn't it? Now, from when we slammed here, didn't, like, can you see? Oh, where's my charger? Sorry guys, 1 second. You can see from price pulled back into this imbalance area right here. Broke the structure here. So that was the job done, isn't it? They came to target that low. Now, when we came back into this imbalance, if we just measure this imbalance candle, you can see here, for example, it came into 50% of that imbalance candle here. Boom, boom, double top, just to set liquidity. Bang, straight into this order block here. So from when they came into this order block on the 1 hour time frame, change that into blue. Remember, this order block's on a higher time frame. This is actually a breaker. So we've got this order block, which, you know, once the price came into it here, we got this rejection, but then that became a breaker, that became a breaker. So we've actually got two breaker blocks within the same zone, which is a stronger reason when the price gets here, you know, it's giving us stronger buy potential from here, because we've actually got two breaker blocks within the zone. We've got gaps here. So, you know, price could even come here. So yeah, guys, it's all about waiting for that price action. And look what's happening. Look what's happening in this little order block, this 15-minute order block. Because we've had that shift in momentum, isn't it? From when we had this breaker structure here, it looks like the start of something new. As in, breaker structure, return to the 618 right here. And usually from a 618 retracement, okay, you know, we could say that the trend has changed. Trend has changed. So this pullback is just the induced liquidity. Bam, straight back into this order block here. Okay, 15-minute order block. You start refining your points of interest. So all I can really see Bitcoin doing now is doing this, bro. To be totally honest.
Because of the fact that we can't hold the support.
No, it's just because we've had this breaker structure, 618 retracement, breaker structure, inducement into the order block, and slam.
Yeah. I like that. I just see someone long 5 million worth of Bitcoin literally at that 31,300 or that top candle there, just like right before it when you start speaking about it.
Okay. So yeah, this would have been a decent short, you know, from here. Stop loss at break even, and now first target would have been these lows here. That would have been a good entry because we actually induced liquidity here, which makes our order block valid. From when we had that first pullback, boom. Because I can see the structure shifted here, isn't it? From higher highs and higher lows. You know, we created this high and then we broke the structure and then we started creating from here, we're creating lows, isn't it? From here, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, okay, lower high, induced. So is this the lower high here to take us to the lower low here to come and break this new low, break this low? You know? So theoretically, you were supposed to be coming down here.
Just wanted to add, the SEC are investigating Binance right now for their tokens, so it might be a good idea to short Binance because that's what I'm about to do.
Good man. Yeah, I mean the price action is erratic because this setup is quite obvious. To be fair, it's quite an obvious setup. So for these kind of obvious setups, if I do get into a trade here, because to be honest, I wouldn't actually take an entry here, I can still see them coming back up to come and sweep this high. They won't make it that easy, people, innit? They'll probably come and one more quick sweep. Then I want to see a shift in structure and then maybe catch a short from here. But this is the kind of short that if you do grab, you want to see a shift in momentum. And look at the volume. There's not much price action. It's really, really slow. It's not really a time that I want to be even taking any trades, to be honest. No, there's no pressure. If we look at I like this indicator because it tells you when the pressure's in. So the pressure's coming down. Pressure's coming down. Like here, the pressure was going up. But the pressure was going up, the price was going up here. You see the pressure, everything was up. Right now the pressure's on a downwards trajectory, which is telling me that no matter what Bitcoin even wants to do right now, I don't even want to be in the market because there's no pressure, there's no like price action is going to be slow. So until the pressure comes back towards this area and starts coming back up, then whatever's setting up for me, when it starts to come up, whatever setup's happening is where I want to be in. Whether it's a setup to the downside, I know that the pressure's coming in for me to catch the actual move that's actually going to happen at the actual time it's going to happen.
Do you mind having a quick look at Binance, please? Because I'm 30% up.
Jeez. I got left because I know Brooklyn wants to do an education stream after this, so I don't want to go over the time. Is it BNB, innit? What am I doing?
Wow, this is dropping.
Are you in the long or the short?
The short, bro. As soon as I told you, I hit it straight afterwards.
Pat again. Wow.
Oi. I just saw that on Twitter. I read it and I thought, you know what? This is bad publicity.
Oh, shit. Yeah. You caught that at a good time, my guy. Oh, that nice.
I thought, obviously, with what you were talking about, looking for a short, I thought, you know what? Everything adds up. If Bitcoin shorts and the SEC news, once the SEC news pops by the end of the week, bro, boy, sell your Binance now. Sell your BUSD.
Shit, what's going on with Binance coin? Let me have a closer look, okay. Damn.
Oh.
My
I put 10% of my account on like 30x leverage, bro. Yo.
Alright, look what we got here, yeah. From here we've got this move, inducement. Oh, what's going on, man? Binance is moving mad, bro. Sorry, my bad. This one could tool. Come to sweep this low here. Cool. Sorry guys, one second.
Look, I hit that trade quickly.
Alright, look at it like this, yeah. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Binance. So remember when on the BTC chart when we did slam, you know, this sort of level that we were looking at here, okay, remember with BTC, it actually swept the lows. It came and swept these lows, isn't it?
But first of all, I just want to say thank you for saying that Bitcoin short call, because I entered 2 trades on account of what you just said, and boy, I'm 40% up on each. So thank you.
No worries, my guy. Come on, it's only right. It's only right. Yeah, like I was saying on BTC, right? When we got to this support level, we had a move down that actually cleared the liquidities into like the imbalance that was sitting below. On Binance, we haven't actually had that. It's been holding this support. So Binance could be on its way to do that move into the imbalance. Maybe not as far as there, but it could easily come here and give us that wick back up, like what Bitcoin done. Come back up here and then start to range
60%.
and start to range, back in here like that, and back into this level. Yeah, because look, when we got this support, look at the wick that came down into the imbalance here, came back up above the support. So we could get that same thing from Binance. We could, this short, bro, you could hold this short at least until this inefficient 41%.
Yeah, boy. Where should my stop loss be, by the way? 35% at the moment. But I'm willing to just let this ride without a stop loss.
To be totally honest, my guy,
like this SEC news is bad.
You see the way I trade, right? Like each trade, I want to secure. Like if I see 30% profit, and if I see anything over 30%, I'll take my 30% for the day, and I'll let the rest ride risk free, because I know that tomorrow's another day. Because I've been in situations where I've tried to hold it and I end up hitting break even, like it's gone into like 100% profit or something, and then I hold it, and then it goes all the way back to my break even, and I end up with nothing. Because when it gets back to my entry, I don't want to risk it going to a stop loss. So I'd rather break even after that. That's why I always partial out of my trades. I always partially secure something. Okay, so that's the way I would manage my trade. I would actually partial out, just like that gold trade. I'm still in it, but I've heavily partialed out. Majority of the position I've closed, and I'm just leaving it to play out just for experience points. I can get the experience and say, okay, I was right, or if I was wrong, if the price reverses and does something else, it's more data for me to collect for the future. Because nothing in this is 100%. So secure your profits while you can, my guy. Secure your profits while you can. But this is what I can really see for BNB right now, according to what you've been telling me about the news and everything. It's the same sort of thing that Bitcoin did. We first came to this level of support. When it first tapped it, there was like a rejection, and then we done this push down, and now we've come back to that same level. So yeah, that's all I can really see. If we go to the lower time frames, all we're really going to see is breaker structures to the downside. This was like because of the news. This is like an irregular, impulsive move. So them type of moves, they're not respecting any type of structure or anything like that. If we go to the 4 hour, we can see all of these trendline liquidities here. We've come for this low, we've come for this low, we've come and taken this low here, haven't we? Not quite come for this low here yet. This is another point of interest here, this order block here. This was the last sell on the 4 hour before this impulsive move up. First pullback is an inducement, double top, break the structure here. All these inducements to come to the downside now. We could get a rejection here. Don't be surprised that when the price, if the price gets into this zone here, we're gonna get some type of rejection. But to be honest, because of what Bitcoin done, I could see it just going bang, like eventually just wick down, maybe come back up and hold support here. Because Binance is actually like a good coin, bro. Can't really see it dumping off that much, to be honest. But anything's possible, eh?
People talk about XRP, and as soon as the SEC investigated them, plunged.
Yeah.
Never seen the same thing. I mean, Binance, though, on the only good side is they've got the Binance futures, but the SEC, I think, let me read the article.
But it's the same thing, guys. Look, volume imbalance here. These are points of interest. Price will be magnetized from here. These places to catch sells from. You know,
it's a case in regards to 2017. The news just dropped on Twitter now. That's why it's dumping.
Yeah. Like even here with Mana, same thing. The last sell candle before this breaker structure, pull back to induce the liquidity, breaker structure again, and we can see what happened. The price pulled back into this order block, and then boom, continuing down. This would be the target. Same things playing out on all of these. Last buy before this sell that broke the structure here. Volume imbalanced. Set all these liquidities here. Price pulled back into it. Boom. This would be my first target here. This low. Same thing with Cardano. Inefficiency entry. Pull back. Can you see this last buy candle here? Before this impulsive move down. This is where these guys like to hide their orders and come back for them. But you can see with this, smart money traders would have been waiting for this, but they actually came into this imbalance. This imbalance here. So sometimes, if you are looking for order block entries and stuff like that, and you miss it, doesn't matter. It doesn't. Sometimes they won't even reach the order block, or sometimes what they'll do is you get that rejection. It didn't quite touch the order block, and then you see the price wanna pull back. Eventually, maybe come here and then eventually come back into the order block, and then die. Might not be ready yet, and sometimes they do it to trick you, to sort of confuse you, because you've got order block here. Price might want to come into here, then come there, and then die. Come and take all of these trendline liquidities here. So if it comes close and you miss it, just wait. Don't rush. Don't, because you could get in here and then it just reverses on you. It's all good.
Guys, concluded, please. We're up 30 minutes ahead.
All right, then, family. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. We will be plugging into some more signals, sending you guys the best quality signals out there. Hope you enjoyed the session.